I'm Phil Doty. A lot of people call me P. Doty. I sing in Man vs. Bear. I sing in Jawa Command currently, and I have a new project that's coming out soon called Closure. It's with Larry Constant and Josh Fassbender from the Vedas.
Okay.
It's kind of like it's a little emo-ish, I guess.
All
it's
right.
pretty cool. I like it. You know, it's fun and creative. And Man vs. Bear is my rock and roll project.
That's where I was going next, because you're on NewOrleansMusicians.com with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it was strange because the more I was signing up for stuff and putting the Man vs. Bear project out, then all these other projects started popping up.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I need to figure out, who's gonna do what and what's gonna go where and all this other stuff. With the thing about Closure is the drummer Josh, he kind of handles all the promotion and business things and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, that's cool. That takes a little heat off of me. Plus, we're not really ready with recording and writing and all that stuff. Jawa Command's like a once a year, maybe twice a year kind of project. It's an old band from, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago or something.
Yeah.
That's Miguel Rincon
Yes.
plays in that band, and Aaron Polk and Wayne Cron, Mike Burnett. Man vs. Bear is me, Sheldon Ward, who used to play bass, and now he's on drums. Logan Anderson, he's kind of new. He's from Baton Rouge originally. He's a little bit younger than we are, and then my boy Donnie on bass, who used to play some heavy shit back in the day, with Wayne Favre and all those Christ Inversion guys and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's from that school. It's cool, man. MXB's I wanted to say it was rock and roll, but apparently we're grunge, because everybody that does interviews and reviews of us is always like, this is grunge. I'm like, okay.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny. I mean, it's left up to interpretation, but it's something you don't want to touch. You take it how you want.
Yeah, I mean, that's where I'm at. The more I listen to it, I'm like, yeah, I guess we do have a song called The Grohl. It's about David Grohl when he cheated on his wife.
Okay.
So I was like, yeah, we'll do that shit.
Homage. Yeah. That's funny. So, and it's funny that you talk about what you're going to have to do for each project, because, I mean, maybe they realize, maybe they don't, fans out there, each band is its own life form. It's its own entity. And it has a set of, I guess, typical places that, or typical features that come with it. You need a social account for it. You know what I'm saying? You need some sort of logo for it. You need a platform to distribute whatever comes of it. And any merch that you make for it, or physical forms need to be sold in these certain places,
Sure.
So there's a lot of back end that goes into it. And I mean, the sad part is all musicians want to do is play music. You know what I'm saying?
I think I had 4 people this month say, oh, MXB, I didn't realize that was you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's crazy. But I guess, it's promotion. People are seeing oh, that's a band. And so I've been trying to do more of with the MXB stuff, since I have total control of whatever socials we do. I've been trying to put more faces in the music. You know what I mean? Like if we do a TikTok, I try to put there's pictures of us, group photos and stuff, and of us playing, and just to kind of relate, because people will say oh man, I heard your band played the other day, what's the name of it again? And I'll say it, and they're like, that's you? I'm like, yeah, man, been doing this shit for 30 years.
Yeah, so you're living it, you're finding that out.
I mean, it's crazy. The more time you spend kind of thinking about, because I try to think about, what do record labels do? What do they do? And a lot of people say, oh, record labels don't do shit but take people's money. I'm like, that's true. But the other side of it, I started thinking about even the bands that I listen to that are considered quote unquote underground, there's fucking pictures of them everywhere.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So one of my favorite bands is Thrice. Thrice is, if I say Thrice, a lot of people are like, who the fuck is that? But I guarantee if I went on the internet and typed in Thrice, there'd be tons and tons of pictures of them.
It's a necessity.
Yes.
It's par for the course. You can't contend without it.
Yeah.
And I think also what's important is that you're talking about putting out pictures of the band and things of that nature. That's important for a fan to be able to relate, right?
Yeah.
Because somebody plays bass too, or somebody kind of has the same style and cues as that guy over there. He looks like a fucking mess. Oh yeah, I look like a fucking mess. They just have points to relate on, and if you put so many out there, something's gonna get somebody.
How the fuck did Tool do it? Because you remember, nobody knew what those guys looked like for like decades.
Yeah, I don't know. And then somebody was saying that it was a punk band, like the Dead Boys or somebody. They were saying like nobody knew who they were. No, it wasn't the Dead Boys. It'll come to me. But he was saying nobody knew Surf Punks. That's who it was. Nobody knew who they were either. And it's because of that, because the media is limited. Now you go back far back into the Surf Punks or whoever they were, you got an excuse, right? Because I mean, to have a video camera in 1978 was expensive, whereas today everybody's got one in their pocket. So there's no excuse, but as a result, there's so much media saturation. It's like you got to come with a gimmick and an angle, and you got to have like the right release time and all of these strategies, all the hats that we're talking about wearing, you know?
Yeah, I think I'm good with all that shit. Like, you know, I remember back in the day, records got released at like Sound Warehouse on Tuesday. You remember that shit?
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, pushing the release and all stuff. But like, I don't know, as far as a gimmick goes, I just kind of, like every band that I'm in kind of does a different thing anyway. So as far as a gimmick thing goes, I just try to be who I am.
Gimmick is a cheap word. It's a misnomer, really. Like, it's not what I really mean to say. I guess it's like an angle or a pitch. If you're going to play a certain style of music, let's
like
just
say... Like a highlight. You mean like a highlight?
I guess it's kind of like a means. It's another means of relation. Like every Tuesday, this guy sits down and just kind of woodsheds it out in front of the camera and then posts it. You know, that might be his gimmick or his angle because he's trying to be personable. You see what I'm saying? So like, it's a means of relating to the audience or conveying a message or a talent to your audience. But you know, you might have something green glowing in the back of every shot, and some people start to realize that, and that becomes your. Like, who knows what it is? Anything flies on social. You know what I'm saying? But so to call it a gimmick is kind of like a tawdry, cheap misnomer, really. Whereas what I'm saying is you got to have like your own angle. Come from somewhere with your own, I guess, contribution to the table. You know
just don't argue about politics.
Yeah, well, God, politics or religion. Everywhere I go, I tell everybody, barroom rules, man. Shut the hell up.
I haven't really heard too much about religion lately, man, but God, those politics. And what's crazy is I didn't know shit about politics until I was like, I don't know, mid-30s, right? I mean, it's like younger and younger. It's the new, I don't know, like, I guess like pits versus preps kind of thing. You know what I mean?
You know what's scary, though? This is the age of disinformation.
Yeah, right.
Like, it's too easy. You know what I'm saying? Is. As far as the religious tip goes, I don't know if you ever heard of Christianity is Stupid. Did you ever hear that?
It's a website?
It's like a movement. I don't even know what to call it. It's a soundtrack, a video. Dude wrote a book about it. He's got other stuff. Like, one of his angles is all copyright is wrong. He put out something during the early 90s that was, I believe it was during the early 90s, and it was just a mishmash of tons of different samples. And it was tailor-made for people using drugs just because it was that ludicrous. It would be on in the background and you're just like, this is fucking crazy. You know, like that type of pitch. But, I mean, that's a bold statement, right? Off top. Christianity is stupid, you know? You choose your battles, dude.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, these days, I guess anything goes. I feel like anything goes. You know what I mean? Like, my wife and I were talking, and she says, I remember the 90s. Like, I'm not trying to date myself, but whatever, I will because I'm old. So she's like, I remember the 90s. There was, like, styles. Like, you were a wannabe. You were a grunge guy. You know, metalheads. Like, there was, like, kind of like three of them. Well, really, there was, like, preps, grunge, metalhead, and then, like, rap guy, right? Yeah. Hip-hop. So you had those, and now it's like everything's just, she's like, I look at kids these days, and there's really no style. Like, there's no genre of style. Like, everybody kind of does the same thing. And I'm like, I don't know, it's kind of cool to me. Like, I think it's cool to not be so worried about where do I fit in, and everybody just kind of squishes together.
You know what? I don't think it's because they're not worried about it. I think it's because back then, again, we had limited access. So whoever made it to the top of the heap was on MTV. Right. We went with that. Like, everybody started dressing grunge, but that's how they already dressed in Seattle because it was a logger town. Right. Like, that's the only reason. We took it as the style, and the next thing you know, Sears has got the grunge look. You know, you could buy it as a package and all of this ridiculous shit.
Who was it? I think it was the guy who owned Sub Pop Records was like, yeah, this new style of music, and what do you call it? He's like, grunge. He just made the shit up on the spot, and it became a thing.
Oh, yeah, they're in a fantastic documentary on Netflix, and part of that documentary covers Sub Pop Records. They had, I want to say, a columnist from New York that was calling to get all of the latest terminologies for the grunge generation, so to speak, Generation X and the grunge era. And she sat there for like 20 minutes and just made up 20 or 30 different things, and they printed it verbatim because they had no clue.
That's probably
they were on the
outside
looking in, you know.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you this, since you already jumped to that, the 90s. There was something that you said in one of your older podcasts, and it was to the effect of that it was hard to be a metal guy in the 90s.
It was. So the only real metal band, unless you were like completely in the underground in the 90s, was Pantera.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Metallica they weren't doing what they would do. They weren't doing metal, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Because I remember, like, when Load came out, I put it in a CD player, and then I pressed eject and threw that shit out the window. I mean, immediately. Like, now that I'm older, I appreciate it. It's got the blues influence and all that other stuff, but, like, I was like, what in the fuck? No, absolutely no. But Pantera was still like, get the fuck out there. I'm like, yeah, we're gonna do that.
Still, but it was a transitionary era, if you ask me.
As far as what?
Well, you're coming out. You're, I guess, putting the final nail in the coffin for anything. Maybe not even yet. I was going to say anything hair bands, but not even yet. But they're on their way out. Thrash is beginning to thrive, and it's a love child of metal and punk. Who before they couldn't even be in the same bar together. I was just talking about this yesterday. It's like the end of the 80s, punk and metal are not in the same bar, but they all both kind of love hardcore. And then you have thrash in the early 90s. Those two start to come together, and to me, that's like, you're never gonna play in this town again if you have Hairspray. You know what I'm saying? So it was. I look at it like a transitionary phase.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, and then, you know, which Meshuggah is a huge band now, but back then, when None came out, it was like 93. Nobody knew who Meshuggah was.
Yeah.
It's weird. Music's a weird thing because, like, you have like a steady flow of bands that are rising, and then all of a sudden some bullshit pops out, like, you know, so thrash is doing its thing, and groove metal and Pantera and the heavy music's trying to stay alive, and all of a sudden new metal pops out and just blows everything out the water for like 4 years.
And you know what's crazy? I didn't even know at that time that it was called new metal.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I hadn't heard that term.
Yeah, I don't.
So it's not just me.
What I said was, there's this new band, Korn, and they sound like a mix between Rage Against the Machine and Tool. And I think they're pretty neato, whatever shit. I didn't realize that they tuned down to frickin', you know, A, or I think it's A, but yeah, man, like, and then, yeah, the 90s it's a weird time, right? Because I thought, like, the pinnacle of the 90s was going to be like, there's this band called Faith No More, and they do, like, rapping and rock and roll, and it's weird, and this guy, Mike Patton, I'm like, the 90s is going to be cool with this guy. And then all of a sudden, all this other crazy shit starts coming out. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? But I mean, I'm not going to lie. I loved grunge a lot, you know? Like,
yeah,
I was big into Alice in Chains and Pearl Jam and Soundgarden. I never really liked STP until I got older. Then I'm like, these dudes are badass, man.
I was kind of cool with them. That was a different, I guess, wing of my taste, like Lenny Kravitz and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
I still jam Bleach from Nirvana. Like, I think that's super cool. And I've enjoyed watching documentaries and discovering that on the heels of people like Nirvana blowing up were the pink slips for the guys that didn't sign them at the major labels, that passed on them because they weren't like, you know, he's my cherry pie, she's my cherry pie, or any of that crap, you know. It was a new era, dude. It was a big transition.
I mean, the music industry it's an industry. So they're always going to go with low risk, high reward.
Yeah.
And glam metal, I mean,
it flew for a long time, bro.
Trickster was coming out, so they were like, well, Trickster's doing a thing and they're making money, so it must still be rolling. You remember that? Like, that was like 90, 91.
Yeah.
I remember when I realized that glam metal was dead, I used to love Cinderella when I was a kid. It's
Okay.
one of my favorite. And that shit to me is not hair metal. It's like blues infused rock and roll. It's the same thing as Aerosmith to me, right? So they're coming to town and they're playing at Neo Beach, which it used to be in Lakeview. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck, man, really? So I won the tickets on the radio, but I was just a teenager. So my mom and dad went. They're like, dude, there was nobody in there. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
Really?
And she's like, my mom, you know, she's
and what
like,
year is this?
Oh, God. 93?
Okay.
Yeah, right? So she's like, yeah, nobody was in there. I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me. She's like, yeah, it sucked. Like, they played like the hits and then they left because there was nobody there.
Right.
I'm like, you got to be shitting me. I was like one of the biggest. I mean, now I'm sure they draw a lot more people because, you know, everything that's old comes back and it's brand new again,
yeah.
which
Vintage.
I appreciate.
Yeah.
If anybody don't like glam metal, too bad. I think it's cool as fuck.
What do you think? I want to say like the second album I ever had was Rat.
Nice.
And you go look at them, I mean, they look kind of like hair metal in a Nikki Sixx sort of way, you know what I'm saying? Because they got the shit going on, but I don't feel like that was part of that either. Like you say, Cinderella wasn't. I don't feel like Rat was part of that either.
Yeah.
But it was during that time. It was something that was a little harder to me, I guess.
Yeah, like how could you compare a band like, let's go from one extreme to the next. How could you compare a band like Skid Row to a band like Firehouse?
Okay.
That's two very different bands.
Yeah.
Right? But they still jam them in the same category together.
Yeah.
Like, at least with the new metal thing, people are like, oh, Soulfly is new metal. Deftones is new metal. I'm like, I get it. I get that. I get it. You know, I mean, I can understand. The first Deftones record was definitely a new metal record. I don't give a shit what they say. The second one, not so much. Third one, probably not.
I don't know at what point I discovered them, but I got tired of them really quick because Deftones. Because I realized how similar their songs were to each other. And I don't know what maybe it's just one element, maybe it's just the singer, the way he sings or something, I don't know. But at first I was like, these guys are fucking amazing. And then after...
You got bored with them quick?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are historically my favorite band. But, the last record's really good. But I don't know, man, I'm weird with shit like that. I love 36 Crazy Fists, the first two records. Then I don't really...
What was your first record?
My first record, Appetite for Destruction.
Okay.
Actually, no. Before that was Run DMC, Raising Hell.
Yeah.
Remember that record?
Yeah.
Yeah. With Dumb Girl and all that shit on it. I love that record. I used to play that shit all the time.
That was like my second or third album, which at that point was a cassette. I had Quiet Riot. I believe I had Rat. I remember watching them on MTV as a kid. Because they had some video where the girl's like crawling through what looks like a house party with ripped spandex everywhere. And I was like, I'm too young to know about sex, but I feel a tingle. You know what I'm saying? And my next album was Run DMC Raising Hell on cassette.
Fuck yeah.
And such opposite ends of the spectrum, you know. But like we're talking about, in our limited scope or our limited access for all this music, at least we got a little bit of variety. When you said it was hard to be a metal dude in the 90s, I took it as the prevalence of rap, because the early 90s was like the golden era of hip-hop.
Oh, yeah.
So it was like, to still remain metal in the early 90s, that's the way I took it. So, but you're saying it, not so much, it was more like...
No, I think it was more of like, I mean, who was really putting out... Okay, I'll give you a good example. Megadeth, Metallica, and Slayer, all three of those bands, they're in the top four of thrash metal bands of all time. And I'll give you this, Anthrax too. All four of those... So, Metallica did, Megadeth did, and Anthrax did grunge style, kind of new wave of grunge, take it down a notch kind of records. Slayer did a fucking new metal record. Like, what is it? Is it God Hates Us All or something like that?
Yeah, it's out of place.
Yeah, and Kerry King says it all the time. He's like, I fucking hate that record. Don't even bring it up. Don't even talk to me about it. I don't want it. He's like, fuck that new metal shit.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's the thing. That's the pressure of, like, the record labels and everything else. And, you know, I mean, and then Megadeth put out, what was it, Risk? A record called Risk. And it was a big risk because it was fucking...
Right.
So so Dave Mustaine was like, I want to go back to doing thrash metal. And that's when Marty Friedman left the band. He said, I don't want to do metal. I want to do, all kinds of different music.
Yeah.
So I'm out. If we're doing thrash metal, I'm out. And that's when he left.
Well, what's your impression of all of that? Have you ever, as an artist, had to do that yourself? Like just pivot?
No,
it's a business move.
I don't make no money, man. I do this for the pure love of it.
Of course. But sometimes you'll get a wild hair up your ass, or sometimes you'll be inspired by something new that just came out, or sometimes somebody else in the band will be like, what if we try a little bit of this? Or even better yet, you take on a new band member, and his influences are totally different from yours, and they might have something else to bring to the table, and then your sound changes,
I am a let's try it and see what it sounds like kind of guy.
Give it a shot.
Let me hear what it is. You tell me, like, sometimes my buddies will be like, oh, listen to this band, listen to this band, listen to that, listen to this. And sometimes I'm like, you tell me what's badass about this, because I'm not understanding. And then a good example, Circa Survive. When that record came out, I was like, okay, I'm going to buy this because it sounds like it's going to be cool. And like back then, it was all like internet magazines. It came out in like 2005, I think. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to order this CD. So I ordered it. I got it. I listened to it. I'm like, I don't know, man. Not really feeling it. Like, the vocals are super high pitched, and it's widdly. It's weird. So I call my cousin, and I'm like, hey, Rocco, do you want this CD? He's like, who is it? I said, Circa Survive. He's like, oh, that's a dude from Say. I said, yeah, don't throw it away. I'll take it. I'm not throwing it away, but either way, I'm like, all right, so next time I saw him, like, here. He's like, oh, yeah, I love this shit. So he puts it in. Like 2 weeks later, we're on a job site together working in Chalmette. And he's like, man, listen to this shit. He puts it on, and he's like, fucking jams. He's like, listen to this song. I'm like, damn, that's good. What is that? He's like, Circa Survive, you stupid ass.
Is
I'm
it
like,
the same
no
CD?
Shit. Yes.
What the hell? Did you listen to the whole thing back when you had it?
I listened to it all, and I'm like, man, it just sounds like Led Zeppelin to me. Like, I don't know. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
And the more time he showed me some things in it that he's like, check out this drum part. And I'm like, oh, that was badass, man. Like, I mean, sometimes that's what it takes. I don't know. Maybe you're right. Like, yeah. So when like new influences come up and new things come up, you got to keep pushing that shit. Well,
at least you got an open mind. I mean, some people are like, fuck you, we're not doing that ever.
Well, so in '95 when Adrenaline came out by the Deftones, I was 18. Okay. A lot of people, as soon as they turn 18, all their music it shuts off. They're like, nope, everything that I like is 18 and back, You
think so? 18?
Dude, a lot of my friends are like, fucking Pantera, bro, and that's all they listen to. It's Pantera, and
that's definitely like the highlight. If anybody's got classics, it's from when they were around 18.
And I think that's
getting out of high school. And
that's
such.
like when your music, your thoughts about music changes, and you start kind of like settling into my teenage years are over, so I'm moving on to adult type shit, and like all your nostalgia stops at like 17.
Yeah, I missed that bus, dude. I kept
yeah, dude, me too, man.
I kept running the streets, bro.
Yeah, I was into anything new that came out, and like, I mean, really still even now, I mean, like Turnstile, you know who Turnstile is? Badass fucking punk band, and now they're doing like this like weird kind of disco meshed up. It's badass, man.
Yeah,
like, yeah.
I'll definitely check it out. I've been on like a punk trip. For
this dude,
a year now.
He's like he sounds like a it's like a punk rock Jane's Addiction kind of, like the way he sings.
Yeah.
I mean, it's straight up punk rock, but dude, it's badass, man. Like, and I'm like, I'm never gonna like this shit. And then like I listen to it, I'm like, man, I really like this. It's fucking badass.
Yeah.
So I mean, as far as I don't really listen to music for like content anymore. You know what I mean? Like
what, their lyrical content?
Yeah, I don't even fucking care about it anymore. You know what I mean?
I don't know that I ever have. If you asked me, I would assume that most people dig into the lyrical aspect of a song post, like after they already like it, after they've already listened to it a few times and it's made them love it so much to where they want to go see if there is a message here. I think it's cool that artists write books based on their lyrics, like Mike Williams did a book of poetry and lyrics and stuff like that. I think that's valuable, and I guess, more in the depth of liner notes, because that's where we all found our lyrics. And that was part of the experience. You could, sit there and listen to it and read along. And now you know what the hell he said,
Spotify has the lyrics in it. If you go to the song and, like, scroll up,
yeah,
it has the lyrics.
Nice.
Like, as they're singing, kind of like karaoke style.
Yeah, I haven't spent too much time on there. You were talking earlier about putting the band members' faces out there because you think that it's obviously needed. Some people have a misconception about who's in what band, not knowing if you were in one or not. I could tell you there's a ton of times where I was trying to find out who all the members of a band were for an article or something like that because it wasn't mentioned. It's not out there. A lot of bands don't have EPKs. A lot of bands don't list who plays what instrument. A lot of people don't post their past or future shows. Like, a lot of people don't do these things. And we are, as music fans, consumers. We're trying to consume shit. If there's nothing out there for us to consume, you'll be forgotten as fast as you were discovered,
I think... so 311 does the past and future show thing. I love that. That's incredible. I think it's great.
Yeah.
So this is going to come out the way it's going to come out. I'm gonna fucking say it because I've been around for a long time and I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
All New Orleans musicians are jaded as fuck.
I think so.
We all think that nobody gives a fuck about what we're doing and what's going on with us. And I'm going to tell you, a lot of it is very founded. A lot of it's like, well, yeah, I guess so, motherfucker. Like, But I'm starting to realize that a lot of it has to just do with, like, it's fucking hard. Like, a lot of, okay, so people are like, man, you need to fucking promote better. It's like, well, dude, what do you want me to do? Read people's mind? Like, what the fuck do you want? Like, if somebody tells me, yeah, we do this, we do that, I'm like, okay, fuck, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do that shit too. And, like, I was always a hardcore promotion guy. Flyers, all that shit. I always found that people would come out to shows, like, let's say we play a show at Twist the Lawn. If people saw flyers on the bar, you would see those same people that you handed that flyer to. If you walked up to them like, hey, man, I'm playing a show. Here you go. Here's my flyer. Yeah. You'd see that person. So that was always, like, my concentration. Like, yeah, I could promote to 400 people on fucking Facebook and pay whatever it is for the little ad thing and hopefully reach 500 people. Yeah. But if I go up to 10 people, I know that at least 4 of those people are going to show up because I shook their hand and said, here's a flyer.
It's the pursuit, dude. I mean, if I'm gonna zoom out and just put it real vaguely, I think it's just the pursuit, the effort and putting forth an effort. Don't expect people to show up without promoting. Period. Mm-hmm. Period. And vilify venues that don't promote your shows. Period. It's a two-way street.
That's a thing.
Now, that doesn't mean if the venue doesn't promote well, you don't promote well. Do your part. Show them up. Show up. Play the show. And then never play the fucking place again. Yeah. You know what I mean? But on speaking what you're talking about, I do feel like there is a lack of knowledge of the tools that are out there that enable bands to promote freely. And I think there's a lack of knowledge of, like, general computer skills. And I'm not saying that's to anyone's fault, but it's definitely to their deficit because they lose out. You know, like, some guys are like, I can't catch them on an email. Like, they're not responding to their emails. They don't monitor their inbox. The fuck, dude? How do you book shows? You just call until somebody picks up and says yes? Good luck, dude. You know what I'm saying?
That was a big thing in the early 2000s, too, was texting. Everybody texted everybody. But to that point, like, I will get down to it and say, like, sometimes you text somebody and they're like, stop fucking texting me about this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, dude, I texted you like 3 months ago about a show.
Yeah.
This is another show. Yeah, well, fucking, I'm not coming, so stop texting me. It's like, all right, ass face, fuck you.
It might
and
not.
Those guys are musicians.
The strategy might have to change. When I was talking about pivoting earlier, that includes this too. Because you could have your band logo and you could have your show information that night. Maybe you already know who the lineup is. Put those guys on there. Go find a cool graphic, put it in the background that kind of supports the image of the show. Emo, whatever the hell it is, furnish the venue with this piece so that all they have to do, like, you make it to where they can't stop you because you've already done all the legwork. If they help you, cool, but you're not dependent upon them because you did the legwork.
I will say, I will give you this, like, if I want to, so there's a band, yeah, we're playing a show, okay, I'll go check them out. If they don't have a fucking song connected to that Facebook, I'll even go so far as to Spotify or YouTube them to give them the benefit of doubt. If they don't have a fucking song up, I'm not going.
Yeah, you don't want to waste a trip without hearing a song. You don't want to waste a trip if they didn't bother to put a song up.
Because I've, like, literally, I've had, like, I've gone to, like, I'll tell you a funny story. So we were playing, we were doing Jawa Commands at the time. And we were getting, not, like, super popular, but, I mean, pretty good. We were drawing pretty good crowd. And this kid, he hits me up on Messenger and is like, hey, man, my band wants to play a show with your band. And I'm like, that's cool. What do you sound like? And he's like, the only thing I have is, like, a practice tape. And I'm like, okay, well, just send me what you got. So he sends it to me. I'm like, yeah, it's interesting. I mean, they tried the best they could to make it sound as good as possible. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. He's like, we're playing at Twist on this day. I'm like, okay. I said, well, I book like 3 months out. So if you want a show now, even if I book it now, you're going to be waiting for 3 months. He's like, yeah, that's great. Okay. So I go to watch that band. And I'm standing out in the crowd and, like, they're fucking setting up drums and they're still setting up drums and they're setting up guitars and they're still fucking setting up drums and I'm like, what the fuck is going they're the middle act. I'm like, bro. So I didn't say shit. I watched like 2 songs and I was kind of pissed off and aggravated. They played really well.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm fucking out of here. So I left and I went to my house and so a couple of days later the kid texts me. He's like, hey man, I thought you were coming out to see our band. And I didn't answer him because I was like, I don't want to tell this motherfucker.
You're going to say the wrong shit.
Yeah, I was about to, So he's like, well, fuck you, and if you don't, we were trying to just get a show. So I messaged this motherfucker back and I just handed it to him. And I'm like, let me tell you something, man. Like, I came out to see your fucking band. And I was one of like 7 people standing out there. And that bullshit with how long it took you to set that, and dude, he's like, I'm sorry, man, I'm sorry. I'm like, fuck that, dude.
Because I knew you were right.
Yeah, you had your fucking shot, man. Like, I said, I hope you take this as a lesson. That shit was the most unprofessional shit I've ever seen in my fucking life.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
And he's
out
like,
there
I'm
too.
sorry, man. We're trying to, we're trying to get it to, I'm like, yeah, well, have consideration. Like, the headlining band went on at what, 4 o'clock in the fucking morning? And he's like, yeah, all right. I said, I'll let you know. I never did let him know. But I did go see those motherfuckers at Babylon a couple of months later, and they were like this.
Really?
They were fucking good, too, man. They were really good.
Well, shit,
but I was like,
learned.
Yeah. But I was like, man, I don't want to be like, hey, man, you guys are good now. You can come play with us. I don't want to do all that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I let bygones be bygones, and I don't know. He was pissy that I didn't go see him. I'm like, hey, man, fucking.
Turns out you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. Talk to me a little bit about your singing style. Because if I had to, you ever heard of band At the Drive-In, I believe?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's kind of like, to me, your singing style is like when a bass goes fretless. Not the bass tone itself, but like, there's no locked-in note or semi-note.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So, how do you control that? Did it take you longer to find your voice? Because that's harder to control, it seems like.
So let's see. Now I started playing in bands in 1991. My cousin was like, "There's this guy named Robbie Signorelli, and he goes to school with me, and we all went to the same grammar school together, Divine Providence in Metairie. It's closed down now, but
okay." He's
like, Come play with this fucking dude. Like, he's cool. He likes rock music and heavy shit like you like. I'm like, all right. So I called, hey, is Robbie home? Fucking talk to him. And he was like 14, right? And I'm like 16. Or, I think I was 14. He was like 13.
Okay.
So he's like, yeah, dude, I'll come. So we start fucking hanging out like all the time. Like, we're always sleeping in each other's houses and jamming and shit. I remember he had this white Alvarez. It was badass. And his house always smelled like candy. So we start playing, and we started a band with Woody from the Mothership band, the drummer from the Mothership band.
No, I don't know that dude. I know Adam Pierce.
Okay. Yeah, he's in Adam Pearce's band now, I think. But he lived on the same, like down the street from Robbie. And then we had this other friend, Blake, that he plays in Dead Right. Is that the name of that band?
Not familiar with that.
I think. So we started playing, and then we were like, oh, okay, we'll fucking play it. And I got like punished or some shit. And so then a couple of years later, Robbie comes to my house, and he's like, hey, man, these fucking dudes want you to come sing in our band. And I'm like, well, what's your band? He's like, it's called Kane. So it's Levi, Mike Prado, Kane Gracia, all the guys from Kane Resurrection.
Okay.
So back then, in 93, we had a band and we were kids. Well, my whole thing was like, I wanted to be Phil Anselmo. I didn't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I wanted to do. That's who I wanted to be. Well, Levi was like, dude, you got like a nice voice. Like, you could sing pretty. You should fucking start singing, like for real singing.
What were you originally doing? You were screaming?
Fucking, I was fucking hitting it.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure with your voice, that was probably
it was killing me too.
High pitched and loud. It was killing you.
It was fucking destroying me.
Ah.
So he's like, dude, you should fucking sing, man. Like I wrote like Levi used to write all my lyrics back in the day. He's like, I wrote all these lyrics and shit, and you should sing this. I'm like, okay. So I started singing. And the more time I spent singing, the higher my voice got.
Really?
Yeah, it was weird. So I'm like, fuck, man. So, went through the 90s, and we were doing that band, and then I quit that band, and I came back to doing that band. It was a death metal band, and then, like, that band ended, and then I started a band called Retox. And I was like, it was like a straight-up fucking new metal band. Like, Miguel tells me all the time, you motherfuckers were the only band that was doing that at that time. And it was like 98.
Okay.
Right? So everybody was doing that shit all across the world, but not New Orleans. We were the only ones that were kind of doing that, kind of like beats and fucking really weird, like strummed out chords and just like 6/8 time signatures and weird shit.
Yeah.
So, that's really where it came from. Like, everybody's like, oh, yeah, you fucking sound like Chino from Deftones. I'm like, bitch, I've been singing like that since I was a little kid. Like, that's how I've always sang.
Yeah.
So, that's pretty much it. Like, I have a high-pitched voice. So, why would I try to do shit that's harder for me? As a matter of fact, like, in Man vs. Bear, we were tuned to B. Like, low fucking drop B. And then my guitar player was like, dude, I'm thinking about just going to E flat. I'm like, that sounds cool. And as soon as we went to E flat, everything like came together. He's like, man, your voice sounds so much better. I'm like, yeah, bitch, because I got a high pitch of voice. Like, it's fucking high in the air.
I can't imagine how it is to control that. To keep it in key.
It's just there.
Yeah.
And then like when I quit smoking cigarettes, it got even better.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. So I was just, I don't know, like when I was young too, my friend Mike Prado, his girlfriend at the time, she was in like UNO choir and all that shit. Now she's like a vocal coach and shit. And she used to tell me, she's like, I can hear these weird overtones in your voice. Like, you should try to work on that. She's like, do you feel that in the back of your neck? Like when you sing, it's like two notes at the same time. I'm like, yeah, I didn't know that. I thought I was just hearing shit.
Yeah. And
she's like, no, you should try to work on that. So that's probably a lot of where it comes from too. That and like, I could just do it. So I just do, that's what I do. That's where I go to.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like now that I have this studio and shit, like I can record on my own. So I'll go in and record two parts, one low part, one high part.
Yeah.
And then see which one I like better. And then sometimes all engineers do it, all professional studios do it. Every time you go in, that singer thinks he's singing just one time. That bitch is going to sing.
Right.
He's going to sing 1,000 tracks on that record.
Yeah.
And it's weird, man, because I was always like, wow, when I do it, it sounds weird. But then if I go back and listen to like Nevermind, if you listen to Nevermind, everything's double tracked. Everything. And you're like, damn, he is singing like double tracks. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean, it makes it sound like professional and full and gives it like the pronunciation and stuff that it needs. And I don't know, I like now that I have this, I just like to experiment with weird shit. And then like on that MXB,
so close and ready.
Yeah, it's in the backyard, so it's fucking awesome. But like with the MXB record, that one single, I was like, man, I want to do these like fucking vocal swells. Like, yeah, it just kind of like comes in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, how the fuck can I do that? So I just started experimenting with them. And then once I figured it out, then Larry Constant he plays guitar in Closure with me, but like he mixed the MXB single, the Fire Eye song. And he's like, so what the fuck is this? I'm like, yeah, you know what it is. It's a swell. He's like, all right, it's a swell. He's like, okay, you can't send me like fucking 37 tracks and not say. I'm like, it's a swell. He's like, all right, let me see what I can do. And like, he made it sound pretty cool. Like it does what I wanted it to do.
What did you do and what did he do?
So I just went, and then I flipped it around. Like I took the audio and turned it around to where it was like, reverse. And then he put a bunch of shit on top of it, and he's like, but the funniest part was the phone call. Like, hey man, what the fuck is this? I'm like, yeah. He's like, you don't just do that. I'm like, all right. So the next, now I'm in the habit of like, since I started recording with him doing shit, now I'm in the habit of like labeling every single vocal track. This is this is that. This is what's happening here. And then like in programs, you can put like tags on the WAV file itself to say like, hey, this is what, like a description of what it is.
Sure.
Because, I didn't realize until they started telling me, like, the shit you have to go through. Like, when bands send, and even though it's a modern era, it's supposed to be easier.
Hey, have you heard about NewOrleansMusicians.com? It's a place where articles, music videos, interviews, and streaming music from Louisiana musicians can be found. Fans can join free. Music business professionals can join free, too. And Louisiana musicians can join for free as well. It's also the place where Louisiana bands go to network and get free promotion. We've definitely got plenty, like this band. Check them out. Tax breaks for the rich, handouts to the poor. That time comes, grab my wife and...
When bands send you a large packet of WAV files to make a song out of, I didn't realize they're just you play it and you're like, what the fuck is it? Like, it sounds crazy. And then once you start adjusting levels and stuff like that, then they start figuring all out. Do you know Ryan Tussell from Studio 13?
No, I don't.
So he used to play bass in a band back in the day with Dave Latino from FinFox. Do you know that guy?
Okay.
Yeah. So, and he was
Dave
really
Latino's
good friends with...
on the site, actually.
Yeah. So, and you remember Jeremy Young from Abuse and all those bands, Merry Go Drown? What was it, Whiskey and a Revolver? I think he was in that band too. So he was going to be in a studio with Jeremy, Ryan Tussell, and then Jeremy passed away. But he opened up his own studio. He did like Southern Brutality. He did the Pale Shelter stuff. He's done a bunch of bands at his studio. Well, when I did the solo stuff, I'm like, hey man, my buddy Grant passed away, and this is like a real special song to me. So I want you to mix it because I want to see what it's going to sound like. And he sent it back to me, and it was fucking killer, but it was completely different than what I thought it was going to be.
Really?
It was weird. I was like, wow, this is fucking weird. And I called him and I'm like, dude, it's cool, but it's so weird. He's like, right? He's like, that's what happens when you just like send a
without notes, you're saying?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And that was the thing. He's like, well, how do you want it to sound? I'm like, no, fuck that,
because he didn't realize
dude.
your intention.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I said, fuck that. I'm not telling you anything. You send me back what you think it is. And dude, it was killer. Like, he had a lot more production on his than I would have. Like, my version, it's called G Money is Punk Rock, and it's on the P. Doty Spotify stuff. But like, my version is more of like, kind of like a Sparta, kind of like a post-hardcore kind of sound. Just like it's raw.
Yeah.
Dude, his was like so produced. It sounded like a fucking Coldplay song, I thought. And I'm like, wow.
In the
dude,
right direction or the wrong direction?
No, it just sounded cool, man. It just sounded different than what I would, because I'm a fucking rock guy. Like, I like guitars to be real shrill and shitty and his wasn't, man. His was, I'm like, damn, this sounds like a badass. Like, but in the end, I decided to go with my mix version on the EP.
Yeah.
On the solo stuff, because it just flowed better with everything else that was there. but Ryan Tusell's version was pro as fuck. I was like, oh, dude, I almost felt like, I don't know, I almost felt like I was having something that I shouldn't have had when I heard that mix. So what I did was I put it out. I might even drop it on Spotify just to see and start promoting it to see if people like it better. But like, that was a big gripe about my solo record, was like, dude, the songs are cool, but it sounds like shit. I'm like, I think it sounds fucking cool. But
it depends on what you're going for.
Yeah.
You can decide that something is overproduced, or you could decide that it's polished like you wanted it. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And you could both be talking about the same thing. It just depends on what the intention of the artist was.
I mean, I guess it comes out in what because look, two of my favorite records in the world is Deftones' Adrenaline, which sounds like shit, and Justice for All, which sounds like shit. Like, both of those records are garbage, production-wise. But I love those fucking records. Like,
it's subjective, dude.
It
you
is.
Know what I'm saying?
I feel like it is. I feel like if you hear that and someone's like, this thing sounds like shit, but it hits a certain nerve in your brain, and like you want to hear that kind of sound.
Yeah.
Then yeah.
Not only that, I was talking to Melissa Crory from Tomb of Nick Cage yesterday, and it was along the same lines in that we were talking about punk music and how the genre of punk music, frequently you have a lot of unproduced or shittily produced audio, but it's almost as if it's part of the aesthetic that you look for, or quality that you look for in the genre, because it's so aligned with that genre.
Yeah. She's a really good bass player too.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's fucking killer. Like, my wife, we used to go see him sometimes, and my wife would be like, God, I wish I was a badass bass player like her.
Yeah.
It's funny.
But so, I guess, to your credit, and I also wanted to bring up, like, Crosby, Stills and Nash had an album done, and they sent it to a new engineer. And the guy polished it up, and it sounded too pretty. Like, there is such a thing. Do you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you want that grungy, for fear of putting it in an era, but you want that grungy quality because it adds to the characteristic of what you're going for. Do you know what I mean? So I mean, I could see that. What talk to me about what you have coming up, because you've got on more than one front new music coming out.
Yeah. So the first thing is September 20th we're playing with Pale Shelter and Chemical City Rebels. Jawa Command is playing like our yearly show. I mean, we played 10 months ago, so I mean that's close enough to a year.
Yeah.
We just decided last year we just wanted to get back together, and we wanted to play some fucking shows. So Miguel got his buddy Aaron to come and play drums, because our drummer Grant, he passed away a few years ago of a heart dissection. So we were like, yeah, we'll do this. And we used to have a keyboard player and all kinds of stuff, but now it's just like we try to get, the guy's name is Ryan, it was Grant's brother. I tried to get in touch with him a bunch of times. I don't know if I'm just missing him, or if maybe he's just kind of out of music or whatever.
Yeah,
I mean, it happens. Some people just like, that's my past. But we tried to get him, and I couldn't get in touch with him, so we're just doing like the regular 5-piece, and we have the new drummer, and it's just like there's no pressure. We don't even fucking practice room. We just, whenever, like, oh, these guys offered us a show, and there's a few people that still remember Jawa Command from back in the day, and mostly it's like scene people, and they're like, I like that band, do y'all want to play this? And we're like, yeah, we'll play it. It's not a big deal. So we get back together, we practice the same 7 songs or whatever, and we just...
Yeah, I was going to ask how many, because y'all only put out like one, huh? It was like
a
Jawa Command, basically.
So Jawa Command, we put out an EP, and it had 4 songs on it. But if you go to YouTube and look up Jawa Command, like the whole thing's there. And some of it's like really fucking terrible demos, and like... I know we were talking about like, certain music production, but this shit is like no production. It's like fucking horrible.
There is a difference.
And I'm like, oh, this is real bad. But like, it's good enough for us to listen to and refresh, and then like teach somebody new like what's going on with the songs.
Sure.
So we do that. That band, like we're talking about like re-recording some songs and stuff like that, just to keep it fresh. I mean, it's like a low pressure, no pressure band.
Sure.
So that's what makes it more fun. Plus, like, I get to hang out with my friends that I've been knowing for like 30 years, right? Then I have Man vs. Bear, MXB. We tried to keep it MXB, but everybody kept figuring out what it was. So we do Man vs. Bear. We're working on kind of like, we wanted to do a record, but I think we're just like recording singles and dropping them now.
I think that's like that's everybody these days.
I think that's the thing.
It sucks, but that's what it is.
Yeah. So now that we're going to tune back up again, like everything changes. And we're like, all right, so now we got to, kind of figure out this whole drum tone thing and everything else. So we're doing that. But, people have families and kids and shit. And, like my buddy Donnie, he's a single dad. And like Logan, he just had a baby last year. So the kid's like 14 months or whatever. And so we're working through all that stuff doing that. It's just hard. Like when you're an adult and you have responsibilities, it's hard to like just keep playing music.
Yeah.
So being as I'm an adult with zero responsibilities, I have 3 bands so I can keep playing music. But Closure is my band with the drummer from Vegas, Josh, and my buddy Larry, and then our friend Paul. He plays bass. And we're trying to record, like currently we're in my barn, my studio, and everything's mic'd to the fucking gills.
Yeah.
And we're doing it with Jimmy Hudson from formerly of 4-Mag Nitrous, and it's cool, man. It's hard, like schedules and shit, and my wife's like, God, I feel like you practice like every day of the week. I'm like, I kind of do, but I kind of don't, because like Monday's Jawa Command, which that's going to end after our show is over, and then we're going to get thrown another show and then kind of do like a month worth of practices for it. Man vs. Bear is every Tuesday, but I have 2 guys in my band that have kids and they have responsibilities, and you got to be like, yeah, dude, you got to fucking do that so you don't get punched in the head by your wife or whatever. And then with Closure, we just, Paul, the bass player Paul, he's got kids, and Larry works out of town a lot, and Josh has other bands, and it's just hard. It's like I'm playing as much music as I possibly can right now.
Yeah.
But the outcomes are slow because everybody, it's, I'm just in a mixture of people that have a bunch of shit. I'm almost 50. I'm 48 years old, so
yeah.
Everybody's got shit going on.
Yeah.
It's always with shit going on.
Don't rush it, dude.
Oh, dude, I wish I had what I have now when I was a kid. And then like the wherewithal and the insight into things.
Definitely.
Oh, dude.
We're walking around
if I had a fucking studio when I was a kid, like everyone's like, hey man, if you could go back in time and tell yourself anything at all, just one sentence, what would it be? And I thought about it, I'm like, well, first off, I'd tell myself, I'd be like, invest in Apple, motherfucker.
Yeah, right.
And Bitcoin is, as soon as you hear
BTC,
yeah, if somebody was like 2 words, you can just tell yourself 2 words, I'd be like, Bitcoin.
Yeah.
That's it, dude. That's it, man. But other than that, I would be like, if I could like sit down with my 16-year-old self, I'd be like, dude, learn how to record. It's super fucking important. It is I tell Shane Troxler all the time, hey man, like fucking recording is the basis of everything.
Yeah. Like
I asked him, I said, come on man, the first time you heard most of the bands that you listened to, how did you hear them? He's like, oh, on recording. I'm like, yeah man, a fucking CD. Or a video, or whatever, on the radio. But that it is, man, like recording's the most important thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, I feel like people try to make a fucking big, huge deal out of it and put all this complicated shit into it, and it's not. It's
just like you were talking about in promotion. You said you hear somebody say that they did this, and then you write that down, and you go find out about that, and then next time you be sure to do that.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. I mean, you're just exploring until you got the hang of it, and then you're executing. You know what I'm saying? And
the thing is, like, when I was a kid, I was fucking obsessed with music. Like, that's all I did.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to do. Don't fucking bother me. I'm listening to Master of Puppets for the 8th fucking time today. Get the fuck out of my face. That's where I was. That's all I wanted to do. Now that I'm an adult, it's weird, man. It's like I still love it and I'm still super focused on it, but it's not with the intensity that I had when I was a kid.
We're all impatient as children. And I wanted to bring that up because I was talking to, it might have been last year sometime, this guy, Chris LeBlanc, singer-songwriter, folk and blues and stuff. Anyway, he was funny because he got so insistent when he said this. He's like, talking to a fan that comes up after the show, and they're like, why don't you put out more new music, man, you really need to put out more music. They're waiting on your music. It's like, they ain't waiting on shit. They got 100,000 songs get put out there every single day. They ain't waiting on fucking nothing from me. And that's why I was saying, and the reason I bring that up is because there is no rush, and then when it comes to the promotion, you have the luxury, since you realize there is no rush and that everything is oversaturated already.
Yeah.
You have the luxury of the wherewithal, being older now, and in hindsight and all those things, to be able to say, I'm going to plot how I'll roll this out, or I'm going to plot how I'll record this, or I'm going to plot how all those WAV files have notes now, because you see what I'm saying? So you're just sharpening the blade, dude, And
yeah.
There's no rush in that. When you're a kid, you can't get there fast enough,
Like, when in the 90s, I felt like every fucking 3 years there was a new genre of music that popped up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So there's like glam metal, then this fucking grunge shit comes in, but then in the background you still got like fucking groove metal and shit like that, and then this like kind of post-grunge bullshit comes out, and then new metal fucking hits, and then this fucking dad cock rock shit, or what butt rock they call that shit, right? And then like once like emo and post-hardcore hit, then I'm like, well, fuck, man, what the fuck else is there? Then you start getting shit, then the cores start coming out. You got easy core, you got fucking metalcore, deathcore,
Where
all
do you
this
draw
shit.
the line, though? Where do you draw the line?
I don't know. I feel like I feel like when I was like early on, shit moved so quickly, and like now it's like slow to where people are like, all right, man, what the fuck are we gonna do next? Like I feel like metalcore and deathcore has been around for like ever and ever.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are kind of lost right now. I don't feel like there is, but it might be that there is this lack of, for the lack of a better word, there's a lack of togetherness. Like the social movements, that the word is played out. Do you know what I mean?
But I feel like it is like you said earlier. Like back in the day, they would push things, like the industries would push things to the top, like with will. Nowadays, everything's so organic because fuck the record labels. I mean, all they care about anyway is like The Weeknd and fucking 21 Pilots or whatever.
I suppose
they don't give a fuck about like they're like Rick Beato's always saying there's no fucking rock stars. Like, dude, think about it, really, seriously. Maybe Chino's a rock star right now, possibly, and Ronnie Radke. Okay, those guys might be rock stars right now. But I'm going to say this, and you're probably going to slap me in the mouth. The last fucking really big to make a fucking difference rock star, besides Dave Grohl, because he's been around forever, is fucking Fred Durst. Like, I think about this all the time. I'm like, who? Well, maybe him, and what's that kid's name from My Chemical Romance?
I don't know. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, maybe, but My Chemical Romance was more about like My Chemical Romance.
Yeah.
Whereas like fucking Limp Bizkit was like, oh, it's Fred Durst. You know what I mean? Like he stuck out like a fucking sore thumb.
He did, but I'm trying to decide. I'm trying to weigh in my mind right now if it was so different or so new. And I wanted to bring this up too. You're talking about all these different, the high rate of turnover of genres, if you will. I think with saturation, it sticks around a little bit longer. Just simply because there's so many people trying to contribute at the same time to whatever genre has become new for the time or popular for the time.
That, and you don't get shamed for listening to cheesy shit.
I suppose.
Like in the mid-90s, if you're like, yeah, man, I'm still rocking, I don't know, Trickster. People are like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Like, that shit's old, stupid. But, now come on, man, like the biggest fucking rock singer in anything in the last couple of months has been Ozzy. Like, he's fucking huge. And it was, they did that Back to the Beginning thing, and then, he passed away. So, of course, he's going to be bigger when he passes away. But, dude, he was literally on stage a couple of months ago, and it was like the biggest fucking deal in the last probably 5 years.
Yeah.
It's sad, man. Like Gene Simmons says all the time, there are no more rock stars. There's not any. And look, I'm not one to criticize because I'm not fucking contributing to any of that shit. Like, I'm fucking old. I'm fat. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to fucking be in pictures and
Not
shit.
only that, though, but I mean, consider how PC everybody has become. Consider how many cameras are every fucking where. Consider how, I guess, societal norms have really tightened the reins. You couldn't do what real rock stars did to become real rock stars in like folklore.
Yeah.
20, 30, 40 years ago. You can't throw your TV out the goddamn window at the hotel. You can't. No matter who you are. You know what I'm saying? It's not the same anymore.
Yeah.
And they got drugs out there now that don't even have names. They're just like R2D2. You know what I'm saying? Or, X2497. It's some chemical. Like, they just, I hate to sound like it, maybe because I'm past my prime or something, but they just kind of ruined it for everybody. It's a terrible phrase, but I kind of feel like there's some truth to it. There's with the limited access of something comes exclusivity, and that becomes special. It becomes something that you respect and revere. It also becomes something that more people are focused on at the same time because it is so special, scarce, rare. You know what I'm saying? And in being fans of the same thing, like you would vibe with a Deftones fan because you understand that feeling that he has for that. So there was this sense of togetherness that I don't feel is there anymore. And I mean, I could be speaking out my ass, but I would venture to say that show attendances in general are not what they used to be, and I think it's for a lack of commonality.
I will say this: in the last year, every show that I've gone to, and I don't really go that often, but which is probably more speaking towards my point. If I'm not going as often, I should show up to shows where fucking nobody's there, right? The shows that I've gone to, I'm like, damn, they got some people in this like, this is awesome. I'm glad there's fucking people here.
Really? Yeah.
And like, I took my wife to a cover band show that a friend of mine plays bass in. And if you know, you know. And the band was cool. It was okay. But it was a cover band. And I figured it'd be like fucking slammed ass to the fucking wall. And it wasn't. And I'm like, damn, this is kind of sad.
Yeah.
Like, it's a cover band. It should be like, hey, there's a lot of people. And it wasn't that many, like I would think. But then I go see Mr. Misled, Chris Rico, and I'm like, damn, they got fucking people in this motherfucker. Like, this is awesome. Like him and the Dreadfields and Jack Locke. And I'm like, fucking A, man, good for them. Yeah. Like, there's a good amount of people in here. The bar's busy, and there's fucking people standing on the floor, and people are clapping, and you didn't really hear that many people talking over what the fuck was going on.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is cool. Like, I'm liking this. So, like, in the last year, and then, dude, I don't know if you went, but it was Choke and Big Frank and Southern Whiskey Rebellion.
Okay.
I love Wayne Porter. Dude's like cool as shit. And one more band, and I can't remember, and Slow the Knife. I love Slow the Knife. So, those, dude, it was they played a choice. It was fucking packed. Nice. I mean, you couldn't even move. Like, I could barely get to Ben Michon and get a fucking T-shirt.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, fuck, man. Like, because I remember seeing Choke at Jimmy's back in the 90s, and, dude, there was, like, not really that many people there. Yeah. And then, like, you see them now, it's like... So, I mean, it's like... It's not really a scene, per se, but there's more fucking people showing up now. And, I mean, maybe it's an older crowd, and the kids are growing up, and they can... go out and do shit, or maybe they're bored with this fucking bullshit, right? Yeah. And they want to actually...
So you feel like the local scene, at least on that level, is kind of revitalized?
Maybe not revitalized, but I just kind of feel like the bands are doing better at letting people know, hey, we're playing, and we're not gonna do stupid shit. We're not gonna, put on boring shows where we fucking stand there for 5 minutes between songs, and like that. The bad habits seem like they're going away, or like.
Well, I mean, the bands that you're naming have been in the business. If you want to call it a business, been around for quite a while.
I mean, fucking dude, Chris Rico's been playing since '93 by himself.
Yeah, and
so
Jack Locke, how many bands is that dude in?
Yeah,
and he puts out a ton of material.
I know, he's worse than me.
So, I mean, you're talking about some people that are pretty sharp. You know? So well deserved. I mean, that's That's reassuring to hear, because I always worry about what's happening to the local scene. Years ago, I started an article, never finished it because I realized how many facets there were to consider, contributing to why the scene seemed to be dying. Not immediately post-Katrina, nothing to do with Katrina, just rule that part out. And there was, I posted on social a few times just to see what people would say. And it was tons of comments, back and forth. All good points, some of them echoing others, but there's so many different angles.
Well, I always feel like everybody wants New Orleans to be like Seattle, which is completely fucking unfair. But like Seattle was a smaller city. They were kind of like, just like we are, all the bands would travel through and never fucking hit Seattle because it's so way out the way.
Yeah.
So they were like, well, fuck y'all, we'll just do our own thing. We're going to do what we want to do. And I used to say it back in the day, like, the thing that killed New Orleans rock scene was fucking rap. But that's not true. Like, that's just immature stupidity, me talking shit out my ass because I was mad because nobody was coming to my fucking shows.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, a lot of it is, like, New Orleans is so spread out. Like you're playing in fucking bands all the way from Baton Rouge to fucking Biloxi. I mean, that's pretty much our scene, right?
Yeah.
The whole, I mean, everybody from those areas knows everybody. But to call it a scene, I wouldn't really call it a scene. Like, we all know each other, we all hang out and all that shit, but like, there's no, like, with Seattle, it was like defined bands. Like, boom, first, right out the fucking gate, Soundgarden, you know? They were like, we're fucking huge and we're signed and they're on A&M and they're doing their thing.
There was a flood though. What I mean, Soundgarden, Nirvana, these types of bands made it on top, so we knew who they were. But like smaller bands like Dinosaur Jr. and
the Melvins,
Veruca Salt, you could go on, right? There was a saturation first. There had to be, and then the cream rose to the top.
Yeah, because they had nothing else going on.
Yeah,
like nobody was coming through town.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Fucking play with these bands. So, and you know, I mean, if you're a fan of rock music and you like, hey, I heard these bands. Let's just go. Nothing else is coming. Let's just go see these bands. And that's what everybody wanted New Orleans to be, but we just never made it there. Like literally, and I'm not trying to be a shit about this. I'm just saying what the truth is. Our biggest fucking star, like, who would you consider in New Orleans as the biggest rock/metal hard rock star that we have from the city of New Orleans or surrounding area?
Well, right now, if you're surrounding area, right now, it's gonna have to be Phil.
Yeah,
it's gonna have to be Phil and Son.
And where did Phil make it at? Fucking Dallas.
Yeah, well, starting out, yeah.
I mean, he did the thing. He fucking came back home and said, "Hey, everybody, let's fucking, you know, go play our music and hope the world loves us." And I mean, we did. He built a scene here, but it's just fucking hard. I don't know why. Like, why is it so hard in New Orleans to do anything? You know, like, or in Metairie.
I feel like it's a lack of organization. The elements that I was talking about. People that are musicians that they can't wear the manager hat. They can't wear the promoter hat. They're just a damn good musician. And so they go nowhere, even though they're one of the best, maybe, out there. They can't go anywhere because they don't wear those other hats too well, and they have no interest in doing it. So then they try to find somebody else that'll do it for them, and then you got a bunch of assholes that are just looking, that are on a take. You know what I'm saying? Lack of professionalism there too. I don't know. That's my 2 cents, and I think it's only like this much. You know what I'm saying?
But what's weird to me is like, so back in the day, like, you know, like LA blew up with glam rock, and I mean they were big in the 70s and 80s and all that shit too, and I mean the 60s, the whole thing. So all these labels, they would flood to LA. We're gonna fucking sign somebody, right? And then like that shit was pretty prevalent until like the, you know, I don't know, 03, 04, some shit like that. Then Seattle got big, and they were like, "Oh, let's fucking go out there," and they're making up fucking grunge bands. Like they're trying to find fucking bands like.
Well, sure, you got industry plants. I think the epicenters become such because of the executive infrastructure, right?
But then, like
the
New
record
Orleans,
companies.
we had, you know, I mean, shit, all the way from the '80s. There was this band called The Cold.
Mm-hmm.
They were like fucking. It's like Ellen DeGeneres' brother or something.
Is it really? I didn't know.
Yeah. So they thought, oh, this is it. This is the fucking one that's gonna, and nothing ever happened here.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the whole like I mean, you got Lillian Axe and then Exhorter and all that stuff. And then when fucking Pantera blew up, I was like, this is it. They're coming to New Orleans. It's going to be a fucking thing. Never was a thing. They never came to where it bubbled up from to go find the rest of the bands to do the thing, you know?
Then you're digging into elements which I started to find about the Scene Killer was going to be the name of the article, Scene Killers. And one of them was the tax rates, these at least for New Orleans, tax rates for businesses, I guess operating costs for venues. There were certain things that were killing what you're talking about, that were to its deficit. And I didn't get the full story. I was like, this is just, I'd be writing a book. I don't want to write a book, you know what I'm saying? And I don't want to do it an injustice by just glazing the surface, you know? But a lot of times, and even in that post that I was telling you about, several posts, people were talking about the tax rates and the fees that these bands have to pay, or management has to pay, or the label has to pay to come do business down here. I don't know, man.
So you mean like as far, because I would imagine that if you're a label and you sign some bands from Seattle, that you would have an office in Seattle, right? I mean, would that...
If you had enough business up there, I suppose, yeah.
If you were hunting enough for them. Or, I mean, it could be proximity, too, because L.A. and Seattle's not that far from each other. Whereas, like, L.A. and New Orleans is fucking way far away from each other.
I just feel like there's more executives in those areas. And I don't see that down here.
Yeah.
You know, there is no Capitol Records
building.
To do a
comparison, like, Seattle's way far out the way as far as the whole touring biosphere goes.
Yeah.
Right? So they're not hitting Seattle. But then all of a sudden the people in LA go, it's really not that fucking far. We just drive up 5.
Yeah.
And like I used to live in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. For like a few months at a time. Like Olympia, I stayed in Olympia for like ever and ever. But like, so you drive up 5 and there you are.
Yeah.
You know, you're fucking this one way. As long as you can get out of the fucking Pacific Coast Highway or whatever, PCH, you'll be fine. So, but in New Orleans, it's like, we're not, you know, where the main entertainment business
We're
is.
also waterlogged. We have a very small demographic, considering. Yeah. We can't pull. I mean, if you go to Arizona or Houston, anywhere in Arizona, if you go to Mesa, Arizona, or Phoenix, you go to Houston, Texas, all 4 directions, you can pull people from all 4 of those directions for a show to pack a big venue, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And down here, we're waterlogged. We got the Gulf on one side, we got the lake on the other, and it kind of isolates people. I don't know, man. I don't know. I wish somebody had more answers than I did and could lay it on me, you know?
Yeah. I don't know. At this point in my life, I'm like, fuck it. Because, I mean, the dreams of a child to be, oh, I'm going to fucking be a rock star when I... Like, it's weird, man. Like, every one of my friends, most of them anyway, they're like, dude, I was pretty fucking convinced when I was a kid that there's no fucking way I'm ever going to do anything ever except for fucking being a rock band.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all. I'm going to be a fucking touring rock star, and that's all. And I'm like, damn, I thought that was just me. But
yeah,
it wasn't. It was fucking everybody. I'm like, damn, that's fucking crazy, you know?
Yeah.
I used to get so fucking angry. Like, when I was in my 20s, I get so fucking angry. Like, why in the fuck? You know, like, what the fuck's going on? And then once I had a kid and grew up and all that shit, I was like thinking about it like from a business, like from a real fucking business standpoint. I'm like, if you really wanted to do it, you'd have took your fat ass to fucking LA. If you really wanted to fucking do this, you'd have fucking boned out this bitch.
Probably.
Years ago.
But you know how many times I've heard the story where they went out, fell on their ass, and came back with the tail between their legs, but they needed that too.
But know? Here's the thing. Like, you know, Ash Henley, Chris Racinos, Miguel Rincon, every one of those guys like, yeah, it's coming here. The fucking scene's coming. It's coming here. Like, we're gonna blow up soon. And I'm like, yeah, I believe. Like, I see it. I believe it. Like, how do you have a fucking band as big as 3 Doors Down from Biloxi, and nobody's coming to New Orleans to fucking sign bands? That's fucking insanity. I'm like, what is going on?
Okay, along the same lines, how do you have Cash Money Records and No Limit Records, and none of the majors are setting up shop down here? Now, they did business together. They never set up shop down here. Like there was never an intention. Seemingly, there was never an intention to consider the relationship with the city.
You don't have to put your office in New Orleans because everybody knows New Orleans is like scam central city, right?
Yeah, but
you can be in that or fucking St. Rose, some shit.
They might have. They might. It seems like they would have. It seems like it could have happened. What made it happen in Nashville? What made it happen in L.A. like you're talking about? I don't know.
They say a Superdome was built on an Indian burial ground. That's why we never fucking win anything.
I could believe that shit.
So maybe that's what it is, dude.
Maybe it's the gree, bro.
I mean, now it's over. It's it's like you said, the musicians who are fucking doing anything, they're all doing it on their own.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, maybe they took a lesson from Taylor Swift. I don't know. But I remember reading this article like 12 years ago. And they said one of the biggest fucking artists on SoundCloud was this guy who was like 37 years old, and he did all his own digital shit by himself. And he rolled with it, and it just took off. I don't even remember what the guy's name was. But they, it's, I don't know. Fuck, who knows, dude? I feel like I've worked really fucking hard to like promote and do this shit, but you could put as much fucking water in a bucket as you want to, but if it's the wrong fucking bucket.
Yeah.
Then you're just wasting the water.
I suppose, man. I wouldn't get so down on yourself, bro.
No, I'm not down on myself. I'm just saying, I'd like to know, like, it's one of those things, like, you want to know what the wrong moves were so that you don't do those again.
Sure, that's what you're in the process of doing right now. It's called life, dude.
Yeah. So late, like I said, the latest thing is people going, oh, I didn't even know you played with those guys. I'm like, fuck, man, what am I missing here?
Well, you're learning that too. You're figuring that shit out.
It's like, I need to learn.
On here now, tell everybody where they can find all your different projects at.
So you could find Man vs. Bear on Spotify. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Facebook.
And it's MXB?
Some places it's MXB, some places it's Man vs. Bear. Because if you try to go to Spotify and start an MXB band, there's like 1 million of them.
Oh, shit.
So, so you could look up Man vs. Bear, or you could try FireEye, FYREI.
Okay. For the single?
Yeah, for the single. A lot of people like that single a lot. And I'm like, damn, I'm very surprised.
I thought it was good. Respect.
Yeah, because I was like, fuck, thank you. But I was like, this shit sounds like hum. I don't think anybody's going to like it. And everybody's like, it's fucking killer. I got people calling me like, hey, man, that's you? I'm like, yeah.
Good.
I won't be doing it 30 years, but I appreciate it. So then Jawa Command, we're playing at Twist of Lime. September 20th, we're going to be playing with Pale Shelter and Chemical City Rebels.
With that project, are you going to ever record more? Do you have plans to record?
As far as what?
Professional recording. Because you said they were like demos out of Jawa Command. Demo quality, I should say.
Yeah, it's fucking horrible. Yes, we do.
That's
like,
something you would like to do. That's something you intend to do.
So most... I've talked to like 4 engineers, and every one of them's like, dude, your fucking barn has like the best drum sound. Like, what did you do in there? I'm like, come see it. So they come see it, and they're like, oh, I fucking know why, because it's dead. It's dead in here. Like, you could scream all you want to, it doesn't reflect at all. So they love it for drums. So as soon as the band that I'm doing with my friend Larry and Josh and Paul, Closure, as soon as we're done in here recording drums, we're going to bring Jawa Command in to do like 2 or 3 songs. Just something. I mean, look, we try to write, but it's fucking hard, man. Like, we only get together like maybe a couple of months out of the year.
Sure.
And I mean, everybody's just busy. It's like all of a sudden, a couple of guys have kids, and Miguel, who plays bass with us, he plays music for a living. That's what he does. So him and Aaron, so they're always playing. So it's hard to get together with that band. I'd love to do it all the time, but it is what it is, and we'll take whatever we can get. Man vs. Bear, we're in the middle of recording, like you said, another single. I'm gonna drop that single and just try to do as much as we can as far as promotion. As far as that goes, like it's interesting to have like 3 different bands and then like see like what works for each different band.
Yes.
So it's fun. I mean, that's just what I'm trying to do right now.
Yeah.
Just see about that and trying to learn how to record better. Mic placement and shit and whatever. I don't know. Everybody loves plugins and all. Put a distressor on it. I'm like, fuck that shit. I don't care about that shit, man. I don't care.
Right.
I just, does it sound cool right now? Then how do we keep it sounding cool like you know, what do I need to do to make it sound cool in the car? That's basically the fucking struggle with recording. But yeah, man. So Jawa Command, September 20th, Twist of Lawn. Man versus Bear. We're gonna have a show December 13th at Twist of Lawn with Mr. Misled. And that should be pretty cool. Hopefully we'll have like 2 singles out by then from Man versus Bear. I know, like, that's like I get messages all the fucking time. Like, hey man, when's the next Man versus Bear? Like, everything's about Man versus Bear right now. So
it's new.
It's new, and like I think people like. It's just like a rock and roll feel, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like fucking rock and roll when you got 4 dirty dudes doing some dirty shit. And they're like, yeah, we want to see what the fuck y'all are doing. Like, we into it. So I'm cool with it. I like it. I dig it. It's fun. Yeah, man. That's really it. You know. There's no Each Soul Separately reunions that I know of coming up. So that would be the only other thing I can think of. I know, it'd be crazy. Much. It'd be fucking wild.
Oh shit. Well, thanks for your time, man.
Yeah,
I
man.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah.
All the information you give everybody, it's fucking really helping.